Revilo, welcome.
Thank you very much.
First Control and Freak event. Now Fungal Fantasy coming up real soon, October 21st. We heard your mix and we said we have to get this man on the lineup. And so now you are here. And so, yeah, welcome.
I'm very happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
So let's get into the first questions. They're going to be very personalized towards you. People want to know these questions. Your fans want to know these questions. They want to know a little bit more about who Revilo is. Now, with the second half of questions, we're going to get a little bit into Fungal Fantasy and how your set's going to be like and how you're going to interact with the crowd. People want to know and get ready for Fungal Fantasy. So, starting off with the first question, can you share a bit about your background and how you got started in your DJ scene?
Yeah, of course. Basically, I first started going to shows back in 2006. I'm from Hungary, and my father lived in Hungary, so I only got to see him once or twice a year. Usually in the summer, I would visit him back there, and he would take me to these festivals, and they were electronic music DJ festivals most of the time. Europe is big in that scene, so it's just what I kind of grew up with. And ever since then, it's been a big part of my life. Something I always wanted to get more involved with, but never had an opportunity until now it's been about 5 years, six almost, that I've been doing it. Actually, the reason I started DJing is because a friend of mine purchased DJ decks for me as a gift, and my friend Waleed, and that was really nice of him. So I was like, all right, well, now I have to learn how to do this, and took some school classes and stuff and figured it out. And actually finished a lot of school before I started taking it more seriously because I wanted to learn how to do it correctly. But yeah, that's how I got into it. So it's been a big part of my life. I have the opportunity to do that because I have systemic mastocytosis, which is a disability, and because of that, I'm currently not working. So this is the only thing I do in my free time, is try to get my music forward as much as possible.
Yeah, and then speaking on that topic, do you feel like that either, does it necessarily, would you say, hold you back, or would you say, does it make you work harder? How would you explain having that?
The condition? It's funny. I was gonna make a video about this soon, but yeah, no, it's interesting because it is definitely something that holds me back in certain areas. If I have pain or episodes or things like that, then it can stop me from getting work done that I'd like to do. But at the same time, it's literally the reason I'm able to spend the time I am on music, and so it's bittersweet in that regard. I don't like having it, but it gave me an opportunity, and I'm trying to take advantage of that.
Which is good. And so you're making, the best of the situation, which is good.
Correct. Yes.
For my second question, as an experienced DJ, do you feel like the age brings a unique advantage in terms of skill and crowd control?
That is really an interesting question because I do get out there to support local artists as much as I can, but I've noticed that other than my mom, who also comes with me, I'm usually the oldest one in the crowd, or at least I feel that way sometimes. So like I think of that, I'm like, man, am I getting really old? I'm 33 now, but at the same time, that's not completely true, and I do think that. There's a lot of people in the industry my age or older, and I'm meeting more of those people as well. And yeah, I do think with experience, eventually things start to make more sense. I mean, I think that's natural for anything. The more time you put into something, the more you learn, and the more you could use it in your career or whatever that you're trying to do with. Yeah.
Now, if you were to go back in time, way back, quote unquote, as you say, if you feel that old, would you be able to tell me when was your first gig? How did it go? How did you feel? Tell me a little bit about that first gig.
First gig. Okay, very, very first gig. I was before I got on to my disability because I got diagnosed with my condition, and I was working at Verizon. I worked at Verizon Wireless in Encinitas at a store location as like a solution specialist, sales rep, whatever you want to call it. And that's the job I left. And the first thing I started doing after that was working with music. And a few months after I started working with music, they did a store reopening at my location because it got remodeled. And they invited me to come DJ for the store reopening. I think they did give me a little bit of something, but it was really more just like they wanted something special, and it was fun being back. Like I even wore my Verizon name tag still, like, and played music at the store all day while customers were coming in, and I was dressed in my like DJ outfit, and it looked completely ridiculous, but it was really fun. And I think it was definitely a first time I'll never forget.
I mean, that is a pretty, unique situation. So, I mean, I'm glad that you had that fun experience. And a big question that people do want to know, your fans want to know, the sloth.
Right.
So now, the sloth is a term that's been associated with your set. Could you give us some insight into what the sloth represents in your music and your performance?
Yes, of course. And actually, let me grab him because Slothy, his name is Slothy. Slothy is right here, waving to the fans over here and everybody watching. So this guy, so it's actually a pretty simple story, but I don't know if he's in the camera. Anyways, he was a gift given to me by my girlfriend just a few years ago. And what happened was it was during COVID, and people in my friend group, including her, they said that I'm kind of like a sloth because I'm like lengthy and hairy and just kind of generally slow at stuff. Part of that is because of my condition. I get slowed down sometimes. So they kind of made it a joke that I'm a sloth. And she thinks they're cute. I mean, they are cute. Come on. And so she got me this. And when I started DJing during COVID, it was during I was doing live streams from home. So he was in the background the first time. And after that, he wasn't in the next live stream, and everyone in the chat was like, "Where's the sloth? Like, where's Slothy?" So I was like, "Okay, I got to bring him out again." And then I just can't not. It's kind of like the kayak story. Like I cannot not bring him anymore because literally people will ask about him if he's not there. So he's become half of Revilo. So Slothy is definitely part of the team.
And that is a signature trademark, right?
For us, yeah. And I say us because he's part of it.
Perfect. I love it. Now, we've also known this Burning Man. It seems to have a special significance on you. Can you tell us more about Burning Man? Has it influenced you anyway in DJing?
Yeah, absolutely. I loved my first time out there was 2017. That kind of changed my life in many ways. Burning Man 2017, I went to that like a month after I stopped working at Verizon. I was new on like my disability thing. I got invited. I didn't even know what Burning Man was. I just wanted to experience it. I learned so much. And then like a few weeks after that, I met my girlfriend, who I'm still with, almost 6 years, or actually 6 years in October 6th, so just recently. And it just and then the end of that year was when I first got my decks and I started DJing in December. So really, Burning Man kind of spiraled into all these positive things in my life. I don't know exactly how I was influenced by these things that I felt out there, but it certainly got my life into a different direction, and that was really cool. And it always influences me because when you're out there, I always say this, it feels like you're not on Earth anymore. It just feels like you're on a city on the moon. It's like the moon or Mars, but I think the moon because it's white and it's like very like looks kind of like the moon when you're there. That's what it really feels like. And the environment, the community, it brings a lot together for me kind of in a spiritual way. So, yeah.
Can you share any upcoming projects, songs, collaborations that your fans can look forward to?
Yeah, of course. Not a collaboration, but I did just finish a track that you will be hearing at Fungal. So
sneak peek.
That one just got mixed. It's just finally completely done as of 2 weeks ago. It's very new. Not released yet. I'm working on 2 more tracks right now before I'm going to try to get it onto some labels that I'm prospecting. But the first track is a fun tech house track, and I'm really excited to play it for you guys. The second track that I just started working on this week actually is going to be techno. So if I can get enough work done, you might get to hear that at Fungal as well, at least a version of it, like a early version of it.
Let's keep our fingers crossed. Hopefully we can hear that set because the people do want to hear it. And another really big question that people need to know, not just want to know, is how do you pronounce your DJ name? People do say it wrong, don't they?
Yes.
Can we hear the right pronunciation and the explanation of how you got your DJ name too?
Yeah, so it should be Revilo. Revilo is how I first heard it. I wasn't the first one to come up with it. So it's my name backwards. So I'm Oliver. So Revilo is my name backwards. A lot of people, when they haven't heard it yet, they pronounce it Revilo, which I stopped correcting people at this point because I think most people think it's Revilo. But that's okay. But yeah, I'll try to make it quick. But back in college, we were partying a lot, and every time, well, we had a friend who had his name backwards on Facebook. Sam DeVries, he went by Sirvad Mas, and we thought it was funny and kind of fun, and so we checked everyone's name backwards, and Revelo just stuck, and then everyone started calling me Revelo in college that like hung out with on weekends, and then my other friends that knew me started calling me Revelo, and I was like, all right, that's it. I'm just Revelo now.
And it's stuck. That's usually how it works.
Yeah.
Now, getting into some Fungal Fantasy questions.
Yeah.
What inspired your choice of tracks for your Fungal Fantasy set?
Well, Halloween is always a really fun time. You can be a little darker. You could be a little kind of not scary, but like you could have spookier sounds that you might not use in a regular set. And I'm definitely aiming to try find a couple tracks. I have a few in mind. I'm not sure if I want to say them or not because it could be a surprise. But there's a couple I have on the back of my head that I know I'm going to play. Just because I think they're really cool, kind of fresh, spookier tracks that bump really hard. Yeah. So I think I answered that. My bad. I wasn't sure.
How do you plan to create a unique atmosphere and experience for the audience at Fungal Fantasy?
Yeah, well, I definitely want to create that story, right, and take you guys on a journey. So thank you for allowing me to play for an hour, and I will do my best. In an hour, I think I can create that story for you guys. So I'm going to sneak my unreleased tracks in there, get that going, and try to use those as pivotal points on how I want to change, for example, maybe from tech house to techno, and create that story and journey and flow that I was talking about earlier.
And now I was going to just ask you about, are there any times and points in your performance that we should be looking for? And I'm guessing these are going to be the points.
Yeah, the unreleased stuff would be the stuff I want you guys to hear the most. I can already tell you that the first one that's finished is going to be somewhere in the beginning. I don't know where, but in the first 3 songs most likely. And I have no idea about the second one yet. But yeah, that's always fun. Like I think when I go see an artist, the thing that excites me the most is unreleased music. If it's cool, then I get really happy because I'm like, I can't Shazam this. What is this, right? So it's like frustrating but feels good. I'm like, this is so dope. I hope I could do that to someone at the show.
9 times out of 10, that's what's going to happen. How do you envision your set fitting into the overall journey of Fungal Fantasy?
I've been thinking about that actually, and I like I saw that the venue looks really cool with like colorful mushrooms and stuff. And I'm not trying to make a trippy set necessarily. That's not what I'm going for. I kind of, because it's more of like a day-ish day. I mean, I think I'm going to play a little later, but it's still the day party vibe, I think, is there, right? And so I don't want to go too deep into it necessarily. I kind of want to keep it fun. But at the same time, with the idea of the colorful mushrooms, and they're like gigantic from what I saw in the pictures, and the kind of like the Halloween vibes, I think there's a nice little section there that you can play with creatively and make it a kind of a interesting, like I said, not too dark, still kind of fun, but darker fun style that you can get creative with, that I'm looking forward to.
And is there any specific message or emotion you're trying to share out with your performance?
Emotion. Well, I guess it depends. I definitely want people to feel like they can dance, right? And sometimes, because you play a lot, and you notice that sometimes people are in the mood to dance, and sometimes people are more like socializing and stuff like that. I want people to want to dance this time. Like if it was sometimes like at bars and stuff like that. This to me is more of a festival. That's how I'm looking at it. It's a festival vibe. Like that's how I want to play. So it's gonna be more of a festival set. I want people to pay attention and dance and stand up and feel the euphoria and whatever I can deliver, and hopefully successfully get that out of people,
Now, for the final question for you. Now, Final question, mind you.
All
Do
right.
you have any special shout outs or dedications you'd like to make?
Sure. Yeah. Well, mom is always going to be up there for sure. Parents, family. But my mom always supports me. She's going to be at Fungal. She's coming. So you'll get to see her there. She always comes to all my shows, basically. So I love her support. Other than that, my friend Waleed, he got me my mixer that got me started with the DJing. All my friends, Team Vortex, and Slothy,
Have to add Salty.
of course.